What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Xailas here with you with a very special video today, kind of a Halo extravaganza video. We're going to be doing a couple of things. First of all, we're going to be unboxing and taking a look at the special edition Halo 5 Guardians Xbox One 1TB console bundle that just recently released. And then we're going to be taking a look at a couple of Mcfarlane Halo 5 figures here that I also just recently picked up. And I've done a couple of modifications to these, so I'll be showing you those as well. But first off, a little history with me and the Xbox. I have typically not been a huge fan of Microsoft in general. I've been more of a PlayStation guy pretty much my whole life. When the Xbox One first came out, I waited on it for a long time until the special edition Halo Xbox came out. This is the original Xbox, like the very first one. And whenever I saw somebody playing Halo or talking about Halo, I was very, very intrigued, and the game just looked so awesome and sounded so cool. So I finally ended up buying the special edition Xbox and getting Halo Combat Evolved. This is way back. I don't even remember the exact year, but way, way back in the day. And for those of you that remember the original Xbox, man, this thing was just a huge, brick of a console. But it was so cool because it was like green, like a translucent kind of green Halo Special Edition console. And I just loved that thing. I played the crap out of it and really became a huge Halo fan from that time forward. And that really has been the game that has consistently brought me back to the Xbox and Microsoft. That's been the one card that they've had in their hand for me that has really drawn me to it. So, as the years went by, I did pick up an Xbox 360 and had that for a while along with my PS3 and, enjoyed that period of gaming. When the Mass Effect series came out first on Xbox 360, I played that and really enjoyed it. And of course, all the Halo games that came out on 360, I was right on top of that. As time went on, I eventually went ahead and got rid of the 360 and picked up the PS4, kept my PS3, and when the Xbox One was first revealed, I was not a huge fan. The Kinect thing. As the Kinect came into the last part of the Xbox 360's life cycle, I was not a fan at all. That's actually what kind of drove me to get rid of my Xbox 360, is I knew that they were going to be pushing more into that, that kind of category of games and stuff. They were going to want to push into the Kinect kind of stuff, and I've just never been a huge fan of that kind of thing. So when I saw the Xbox One come out, and originally it had to have the Kinect and all that, or so they said, I just that kind of pushed me away from the console, and I picked up the PS4 on launch, and I've been enjoying that quite a bit. But passed on the Xbox One. That is until Halo 5 Guardians was announced, and then I knew that okay, my days of being Xbox One-less are numbered. So I knew eventually I was going to end up picking up an Xbox One because I love Halo. And if any game was going to bring me back to the fold, it was going to be that one. So what made it even harder to resist was when this bundle was revealed and I saw what this special edition console looks like. And I've got to say, this thing looks incredible. I have seen a lot of custom consoles, a lot of special bundles and things like that, but this one, in my opinion, takes the cake. Just the color scheme, the way it's done, the custom engraving, everything is cherry on this thing, and it's even got custom sounds and all that. So, I was sold pretty much from the moment I saw it, and I knew I made the right choice in waiting until now to pick up the Xbox One. So that's just a little bit of a history with me and the Xbox. So let's get to opening this thing up so you guys can see what's going on inside here and get a closer look at the console itself. As you can see, the box is pretty sizable. The Xbox One is not a small console by any means. It's, in fact, oftentimes been compared to an old VCR. Those of you who are old enough to remember what a VCR is. It's a pretty big console, and it's a, in Xbox tradition. You know, all the Xboxes have been pretty large consoles, but this one definitely is the most sizable of all of them, I think. Well, maybe the original Xbox was a little bigger, but very nice box, very nicely done. All the imagery is really sharp and really clear. A nice bit of kind of embossing or a shiny type of texture on the picture there. So you can see the console design is completely awesome. The controller and everything is custom as well, so we'll be taking a look at that. Of course, it does come with a copy of Halo 5 Guardians. It is the digital version. It doesn't actually come with the physical disc. It does come with the tin, as you'll see in just a moment, but not the actual disc, unfortunately. I'm not a fan of digital games, but hey, it is what it is, and it is a 1 terabyte console, so it's not like I'm going to be pressed for space anytime soon. Taking a look at the other side of the box here, you can see a nice image of Spartan. This is actually Chief on this side and Spartan Locke on this side from Halo 5 Guardians. Awesome art. Love the design of the Spartans. Always have since Halo 1, and they just keep upping their game every single installment of Halo. You know, even after 343 took over after Bungie, the art direction of Halo is just fantastic, and loving the design of Spartan Locke in particular. The armor is just so sweet, and that's also why I definitely had to pick up the Spartan Locke figure. But pretty standard. Aside from that, you know, you got your warnings and your contents and everything. So this little bundle comes with a nice little array of bonus things that you get with it, which we'll be taking a look at here. Get this guy open here. All right. So this is really nicely done. This is very, very classy. Everything's super clean and really nicely packaged. Nothing's just kind of thrown in there. It's all really nicely done. So first of all, right on the top here, we have our tin, our UNSC tin. It's actually thick enough to be about the size of 2 games. But this is the tin that you get, that you could, in theory, hold the disc in if you had the disc, which, you know, unfortunately, like I said, I don't. But really nicely done tin. Really, really clean. Awesome designs. Got the UNSC insignia there. And just very clean, very nice military looking tin here. Opening it up, we of course have our game download code here. Xbox trial. And then a couple of special things in here. So we have operation orders here. This is essentially a mock-up of what would be given to Spartan Locke by the UNSC to go and locate Master Chief. So this is really, really cool, just to get you into the mood before you start playing the game, just to read Spartan Locke's orders, if you will, his mission orders. Really nice little thing that they included there. Definitely didn't have to do that, but I love stuff like that. I'm just a sucker for, you know, stuff that, you know, it sucks me into the game more and more. We also have this little sealed package here, which contains a dossier of Fireteam Osiris and Spartan Blue Team, and it is addressed to Jameson Locke. So this would be given to Spartan Locke to review not only his teammates on Fireteam Osiris, but also who he can expect to run into when he does run into Master Chief 117. So this is a really, really cool thing here that it also comes with. This is by a company called Metal Earth, and this is actually almost like a model, if you will. It's something that you do have to put together, but it's actually a metal model of a Guardian from Halo 5 Guardians. And so you do have to punch it out and put it all together, and it does have a fairly thick, extensive instruction packet here. So definitely something that I'm going to be putting together eventually, but maybe a little while before I get to that. But it's so cool that they included that. It doesn't look like it's very big. It might be, you know, about 5 inches or so, maybe about as tall as one of these little figures here. But very cool that they included that. It's very nice. All right, so that's what comes in the tin there. And then we have our DLC that's included with the bundle. So this is the Photos class armor. Comes with a multiplayer emblem as well. And I think maybe a rec pack or two in there. So very, very cool. Photos armor is looking pretty on point. Almost like an Evangelion or something like that with the horn. It's really cool. All right, getting into the console itself. We got the controller right through the top here. We're going to pull that puppy out. And man, this thing is nice. Take a nice look at that. That is a very, very clean design there. Like I said, one of the best custom console, custom controllers that I've ever seen. I mean, I'm a huge fan of kind of blue, teal, and silver, so, you know, definitely works for me. This is the updated version of the Xbox One controller, by the way. It has the headphone jack in it, unlike the originals that came with the first shipped Xbox Ones. But very, very nice. You'll notice that the buttons here are actually, they're all grayed out, and they just have these little arrows here that indicate the color of the traditional buttons, which is just so nicely done. I love how that's done there. This pattern here is actually a very, very light engraving in the actual controller itself. It's not just a sticker or a paintwork. It's actually a texture that they put in there, so you can really see that a lot of design went into this for sure. It's not just a hack job, you know, or a real quick, you know, sticker slap on or anything like that. This is definitely some work went into this. On the sides here, you've got some emblems there, and then on the other side, you've got some looks like some Spartan numbers there on the side, some unit numbers, and yeah, just everything looking real clean, real tight. Triggers are real nice. It's a nice controller. Comes with the batteries, of course. Class act of Microsoft. You know, Microsoft's getting better. One thing about them that I was really surprised about is when the Xbox One was first announced, and everybody was so surprised at what they, you know, their original policy that they had with the, you know, their trading games and all that. It was a major snafu, and people really gave them a lot of backlash for that. And but the thing is they listened. You know, they really listened, and they changed course on it. You know, they it looked bad, and it was bad, but you know what? At least they did something about it. They didn't just say, "Hey, well, that's what it is," and so it's tough if you don't like it. They actually changed course on it, and the Xbox One really has benefited so much for it. I mean, if they would have kept with all of their original goals and original plans for this thing, I probably wouldn't be sitting here making this video right now, because I never would have picked one up. But because Microsoft actually is listening to their fans, that's why we're here today. I think that they're getting better as time goes on, and I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing with them recently. So digging deeper in here, we have the Xbox headset that it comes with for Xbox Live, rather. Power cables, pretty standard stuff. Power brick. Nothing notable about the power brick. There's no HDMI ports or anything like that. Nothing special. It is black. I'm not sure if the standard Xbox One power brick is gray or anything. It might be black, but this one's black. Looks really nice. Xbox warnings and instructions. Right. Getting deeper into the package now, it's still very nicely done, very clean. Lots of foam. All right, and here we go. Get rid of the box at this point. Alright, so here is the main piece. Comes in this really nice black, almost like a foam, lightweight foam encasing here. Really nice. Nice touch. Right. All right. And there you have it. Man, is this thing nice or what? I mean, it's hefty for sure. I mean, this is like at least twice as heavy as the PS4 and twice as large for sure in diameter. But man, the design of this thing is just slick as can be. I'm telling you what, it's even better than I thought it was going to be. There's nice, the same kind of quality engraving that you see on the controller is really nicely placed through the top of the console there. The blues and the turquoises and all that really coming through super clean on this thing. And the UNSC logo there is just looking awesome. Great honeycomb type of pattern through the front there. Everything is just very nicely done on this thing. I honestly couldn't be happier with it. It looks fantastic. This is definitely my favorite custom console by a long shot. It looks great. The colors are just perfect. The silver's looking awesome. All right, so that is the unboxing of the Xbox One. I'm going to look forward to setting that up and downloading Halo 5 and getting ready to go on that. Speaking of which, I will be having some content for Halo 5 up on my channel. I'm actually planning on running through the campaign and putting up a walkthrough for the game. So look forward to that if you're into that. All right, so getting on to the figures now. This is I've had a couple of Mcfarlane figures in the past, and they were okay. You know, the quality of them wasn't really anything to write home about per se, but they were decent. You know, decent figures. So when I looked at these guys, I kind of knew what I was getting into. Kind of knew what to expect. But I have to say, man, when I got these guys in the mail and cracked them out of their cases, I was very, very surprised. The quality of these little things for what you pay is awesome. It's fantastic. And these retail for about $13. You know, you can get them on Amazon for, you know, $12.50 to $13. There's a couple of them that are a little rarer than others. And they get upwards of about $20. But these figures right here are just phenomenal. They're very, very well done. They give you great articulation, and the detail is just as good as something you would see on a larger scale figure. The paintwork, for the most part, is really decent, and I was very pleasantly surprised when I opened them up. So like I said, I did a couple of modifications on mine already. So this is Spartan Locke here. Let me get my light here so you can see. All right, so taking a look at Locke. Locke is, of course, the new guy to the block. He is tasked with picking up Master Chief or finding Master Chief in Halo 5 Guardians. He's got the, I forget what it's called, but it's a Hunter class Spartan armor, Mark IV armor, I believe. Not Mark IV armor, he's a Spartan 4, but it's a Hunter class Spartan armor here. Looks so cool. This is probably one of my favorite designs for a Spartan armor. Really reminds me almost of Dead Space, kind of the armor that Isaac Clarke wore in Dead Space 2 in the helmet. It's very, very kind of similar, especially with the little piece sticking out here out of the chest piece there. Very Dead Space-ish. And the color scheme too, with the blue visor, reminded me a lot of Dead Space. And I'm a huge fan of Dead Space, so that works for me. Now, this guy originally comes with a lot more teals in his paint scheme originally, but I actually went ahead and did some custom paint work. I repainted him a little bit here, and just in through the bottom part of the torso here, I repainted with just a nice metallic gunmetal there instead of the matte teals that was originally featured on the figure. And I just feel like the gunmetal gray just looks a little more correct with the figure, so it was a little adjustment that I made to him. Primarily just paint work on Locke. He's already just phenomenal. I didn't really have to modify anything else with Locke. He's really nicely done. He doesn't have a whole lot of articulation, this particular figure, especially in the legs. The arms are decent, but the legs are, you kind of have to force them to get them to go where you want them to go. But aside from that, the paint and everything and the sculpt is just great. Like I said, something you would expect to see on a much, much more expensive figure, a much more substantial figure. Really cool. Loving the Spartan Locke design and everything. And I also, of course, picked up a 117, a Master Chief, and you can't get one and not get the other. These two guys are the heroes of Halo 5, and the hero of Halo right here. So I had to pick up Master Chief. Now, the one thing about the Mcfarlane Halo figures is that the shoulders, a lot of times, the shoulder armor is not quite positioned in the correct area. Especially on Master Chief, I noticed in a lot of the photos before I bought this guy, the shoulder armor looked a little too low on the arms compared to what the design is in the game. So knowing that, I picked this guy up with every intention of actually modifying him a little bit, and sure enough, when I got the figure, I took him right out of his case and I popped those shoulders off the sides, and I rose him up on his shoulders there. Excuse me. So this is actually a little bit different than what the figure comes with standard out of the package. I'll get him in kind of a neutral pose here so you can kind of see. So this is after he's been modified here. And unfortunately, I don't have any reference pictures of him without the modification, but you can look on Google or whatever and you can get a picture of the standard figure. But I went ahead and rose the shoulders up on him so it looks a little bit better. And when you pop those shoulders off on his arms, there's a couple of little pegs that are sticking out that the shoulders were originally attached to. And I just went ahead and shaved those pegs all the way down, sanded it down, and reset in the detail with my Dremel, and actually repainted everything so it looks completely seamless through the arms there. You can't even tell that that's not how the figure came. And then I just went ahead and hit the shoulder pads underneath with some really high strength glue and glued those back on in position. And there you go. You got a more accurate Master Chief. Aside from that, I have not had to make any other modifications to this guy. I did a little bit of extra brushing with some metallic silvers and all that just to kind of rough up the armor a little bit more. But this is a great, great figure. He's got a lot of articulation, more than the Spartan Locke figure actually. And I have no complaints. He comes with his assault rifle here, and it looks great on him. The one thing about these figures that I forgot to mention with Spartan Locke is the hands actually, they don't come with trigger fingers. All the fingers are attached together, so you actually do have to split the fingers apart a little bit. You can just use an X-Acto knife, like I just used my my little X-Acto knife here, and very carefully I went in and split the index finger out so that he could actually fit his finger into the trigger hole there. So yep, once you do that modification, these figures are fantastic. They hold their weapons well. They look great just sitting on the shelf. They don't take up a lot of space. So if you don't have a lot of shelf space and you just have a little desk or whatever, these guys are perfect. I mean, for what you pay, $13 for these figures. They're about 5.5 inches or so. You can't go wrong. Really, they're fantastic. Really well done, and well worth the money. So anyways, guys, that's going to about wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed watching the unboxing and enjoyed taking a look at the figures there. Like I said, I'm going to have some content up on my channel soon for Halo 5, so look forward to that. I also am currently working on a new music track, a tribute to Halo 5 Guardians, so look forward to that as well. It's about 75% right now, so I should have it up within the week coming up here. So look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and be sure to subscribe for more content from me in the very near future. All right, guys, I hope you're all doing well. Have a good time. Bye-bye.